selling beyond the pool, selling into the patio. A lot of pool builders will just focus on the pool and they won't sell the rest of the space. So I'm trying to convince them that there's more opportunity, make more profit, more money, right? Appreciate y'all being here. First thing I point out is the reason it seems your price is your customer is the only thing your customers care about is because you haven't given them anything else to care about, right? So when we're talking to pool builders about upselling them, we want them to understand that there is more than just talking about price, right? Talking about the service you're providing, you know this. Talking about the fact that you can offer them more services than the average pool builder. And when you do that, they're going to realize you have something to offer that other people might not offer. When you sell more, when you're selling more than just the pool, you're going to do a number of things. You're going to increase the quality of your leads. So why? We're going to increase customer referrals. We're going to give you back some family time. We're going to increase your company's net profit. And we're going to reignite your passion for being in the swimming pool industry. These are the things I'm going to accomplish today with these slides. So selling beyond the waterline, what are all the things I can sell? A lot of people don't think about it. If I'm selling in a rural area, I can also sell a chicken coop, right? I can sell storage sheds, I can sell gardens, Wi-Fi extensions. Everybody wants to use their phone in the backyard. Because these are all added value items that we can sell beyond the swimming pool. There's a long list here. And I can sell basketball goals. Why? Because if I'm tearing up the yard, I might as well add the basketball goal when I'm tearing up the yard to build a pool. We're going to talk about how we sell these things throughout the presentation. Lighting, great profit center for lighting. Whenever you're adding lighting, you're adding huge margins to your project. So what do we need to do this? We need to seek out new vendor partners, right? So if I don't have somebody that can help me with my surround sound or in my backyard, I need to go seek out an audio visual partner. I can go to other industry meetings. So I don't just want to focus on going to the pool and spa industry meetings. I want to go to the landscape industry meetings. I want to go to the home audio meetings. The whole idea is to get comfortable with other types of products. So the more comfortable you are with them, the more likely you are to push them, to sell them, to pitch them. Find people that are willing to teach you about their products. The whole concept here is if you went to another vendor that sells speakers and you say, hey, I want to become a salesperson for you, then they're more than likely never going to turn you down, right? They're never going to say no. Say, educate me about your products. I sell 20 pools a year and I want to try and put an outdoor speaker system on 20 pools a year. No businessman in their right mind would say, no, I don't need an extra salesperson out in the marketplace. Right? So whether it's a basketball goal in the driveway, or whether it's speakers, or whether it's outdoor lighting, whether it's landscaping, we can team up with subcontractors, or of course we can do it ourselves. More than likely you'll get discount pricing. So if it's not our furniture, it's somebody else's furniture, make a connection with a local boutique furniture store and tell them that you're going to start sending your clients to them. And the first time they might not give you a discount, but as soon as you get them that first job, then they're going to take you serious, and they might start offering you a bigger discount, but then you can pass partially on to your clients, right? To your consumers. You'll be able to lean on your contractors for warranty. So we're not talking about GCing it. We're talking about GCing it, not actually doing the work, right? So if there are warranty issues, you'll be able to pick up the phone and call your vendor and say, hey, come on out and fix this. You don't actually have to be the one doing it yourself. So you're making more profit out of things that you don't have to be as responsible for.
But if I knew that I was going to get them in,
our investment knowledge stays the best interest. So again, learning more about other products. Selling the extras. So let's talk about the pool industry compared to, let's just say, the car industry for a second. We don't have the advantage of bringing a client into a showroom, putting them into a car, right? So I want to show up at a Ford dealership and I want to sell an F1, I want to buy an F-150. If I'm selling cars, I can bring them into the car, and I don't bring them into the XL, I bring them into the Z71 or the Lariat, the nicest package. As pool builders, we don't have that opportunity to do that, right? Because the product doesn't exist until we go out and build it. So the concept here is you want to talk to your clients about building a master plan. A project that It's not just a swimming pool. It's not just the landscaping. In the perfect world, 30 years from now, what do you imagine your backyard to be? I want to create a plan today that is going to encapsulate all of those things. And a lot of this leads to a client thinks they have an $80,000 budget, but once you show them more things, they're going to spend more money, right? So let's think about that car. You walk into the dealership, you've got a $40,000 budget to spend. They don't put you in a $40,000 car. They put you in the $60,000 car and they let you test drive that. Right? So why, as pool builders, as pool designers, are we not showing them the best possible thing that we can put in the outdoor space first, and then allowing them to back off of it if they choose to? Master plan. The timing of the budget conversation. I never, ever, ever recommend to really try and get a client's budget in the first meeting. Because once you've asked for a budget, then they're going to hold you accountable to that budget. They're going to want to keep you within that number, and you're going to offend them if you come back with a different number. So I highly recommend you take the master plan approach. Right now, I really don't want to focus on what it is, what you're trying to spend. I want to focus on what you want. And I will spend the time with you, clients, to make sure that we tailor this design back if we need to get into your budget. If you try and design to a budget, ideally you're going to leave things out that they otherwise would have wanted. So a good example is you never want a client to look back on a pool and say, I wish I would have. That's why the car guy goes and puts you in the nicest car to begin with, because they need you to see all the features. So we should sell all the features, show them all the features, and then let them decide what they don't want. And I tell my clients that exact thing. I would rather you say, man, I knew about it before I built my pool, but I just couldn't afford it at the time, versus sitting in your spa saying, man, I really wish I had that color lighting, but my pool builder never told me about it. Or I really wish I would have got that furniture with my pool builder, because right now I'm looking at the Costco stuff. I really wish I would have put the lighting in to begin with, because now I got to go destroy my landscape bed to put the lighting in. I highly recommend when you're taking this approach, you're charging a design fee for your design services. Why? Because you're providing a bigger and better service. You're providing more to the client than they would usually get from another building, right? And you should be paid for that. And you can easily sell that. Susie Homemaker, whoever it is, client, hey, we're not just going to come design a pool for you. We're going to design an entire backyard space. So how do we do this? How do we do this well? We use the idea of emotional and empathetic conversation. Okay? So how do we sell landscaping as a pool builder? Well, we're going to manipulate the client just a little bit, but that's okay, because we're doing it in their best interest. If I can tell you that the reason why I want to do your landscaping is because if I'm already on site, I more than likely can sell you your landscaping a little bit cheaper than a landscaper that comes afterwards, because I have the efficiencies of being here to build your pool. So while I'm excavating the pool, I might excavate the landscape beds at the same time. It's a great example of how I can save money, because I don't have to get a crew together to come out and just do your landscaping, right? So let's talk about pain. How is landscaping related to pain? Well, me as your pool builder, if I'm designing your landscaping in your pool, I'm going to make sure I run bubbler tubes to everywhere that I'm going to put a pot, so that you don't have to walk outside with a pitcher and water your landscape plants that we couldn't get a bubbler line to otherwise. So as building it with the pool, I can be thinking of all these things and making sure I include irrigation lines where they need to be underneath the pool deck. And I also tell my clients, make sure you don't want to put yourself in a situation where the landscaper's pointing at the pool builder and the pool builder's pointing at the landscaper, right? So by saying, hey, look, we want to take care of this for you, it's going to be more convenient, I'm going to save you some money, and I'm going to potentially save you some pain. Now we're touching on their emotions. Gutters. Why can I sell gutters on every pool I build, on every house I build a pool for, if they don't already have gutters? Because I tell the client that there's a chance the gutters are not only affecting the foundation of your house, but they're also going to affect the foundation of the swimming pool. If we don't pull the water away from the structure, the ground's going to swell, it's going to move, and it can cause damage to the swimming pool. So I'm putting a little bit of fear in my client's mind, which is going to make them potentially want to spend a couple $1,000s on gutters. Now, why would I sell gutters? Maybe it's a $1,500 deal and I'm only making $250 profit, but you're gonna see after you sell gutters on 15 jobs, and it's all turnkey, you don't have to be the one doing the work, you're gonna send a guy over there to do it. By the time I do 15 jobs with gutters, I make $200, $250 on each one. I've all of a sudden added a lot of money to my net profit by the end of the year. Basketball goal. How can we emotionally sell a basketball goal? Right? Any ideas? How do you touch somebody's emotion regarding a simple basketball?
Family.
Huh?
Family.
Family. How can you put fear in their mind?
They're going to be overweight, the kids.
Overweight, active, stay healthy. Okay, I get it. But are really people going to buy it? Are parents with a 14-year-old really going to buy into my kid needs to, I get it, I like it. How about, do you want to create a place here that your kids want to hang out with? You've already got the pool. When they're not at the pool, would you rather your kids in your driveway, or would you rather them down the street at their friend's house where you don't get to pay attention to them? We're just trying to insert something in their mind that emotionally causes them to realize that we are the best people to do all the work for you. Right? Furniture. How do I sell furniture to a client when I'm building their pool? Because I tell them it's very important when you're selecting your Waterline tile color that I'm considering what your accent pillow color is going to be on your furniture, because I want to tie the entire space together to make it as absolutely beautiful as I possibly can. Right? I also can tell them that because I have a relationship with a whole bunch of furniture stores and manufacturers, I can get you a better price. I'm willing to make less margin on the furniture because I'm already making margin on the other parts of the project. So let's look at a real example. This is an actual pool that I built, and this is a true example. This is actual numbers. The pool and the decking with this particular project was $78,000, right? It took me 90 days to build the pool. I've got a profit margin after things are said and done on a $78,000 pool, about $11,700 on that pool. We never really know exactly what we're gonna make on a pool, but we get close, right? My time value. Every day that I was on that project, or that while that project was going on, I made $130 per day. Because it took me 90 days to make $12,000. Out of 36, I don't believe that percentage is right. It was not a 30% profit margin, but we'll pass that up. I had a decent margin on that pool. But let's talk about the landscape product. The landscape. Out of $45,000 landscape package, it took me 15 days to install that landscape package, right? I had a profit of $15,000 on that landscape. Look at that. The pool took me 90 days, the landscape took me 15, and I made more money on the landscape. I made $1,050 per day putting in that landscape for a 48% profit. That is good. Then I put lighting on the job. It took me 2 days to install the lighting. It was a $4,600 lighting job. I had $1,300 of profit. I made $693 time value of money, right? Per day doing that lighting job. The basketball goal, I made a quick $450. It didn't take me any time. I sent somebody over there to install it. The gutters I put on the house, I made $250. It didn't take me much time. I sent somebody over there to do it. Patio furniture. I made $3,300 on that job. It took me 1 day. It took me probably a total of 7 hours to arrange and sell that patio furniture. So this project that I would have made $11,700 on, I ended up making $32,000. So I said earlier that you're going to be able to spend more time with your family. Why? Because now I only had to build one pool to make as much money as I would have needed to build 3 pools. So now you have an option. Do I just go ahead and add more projects, or do I save myself some time, right? Do I spend some more time with my family? You got to find that balance. Maybe that's a happy medium. Maybe I actually spend a little bit more time with my family. I don't wear myself out, but I can now have time to take on a few more projects, right? So it's not about the number of pools we build. It's about the net profit of the pools we build and how successful we are doing it. So it's value beyond the money. Excuse me, yeah, it's value beyond the money to your business. Why? Because now I'm gonna have better photos and I'm gonna have better video. I'm gonna have better social media content. Because when we finish a pool and there's no landscaping, there's no furniture there, I don't wanna take a picture of it because it's not pretty yet. So I tell myself, I'm gonna come back 90 days, 100 days later, I'll come back next year and I'll shoot it. But those days go by and we forget about it and we don't do it. The client actually never furnishes the deck properly, never puts in a good landscape. And then all of a sudden that project that would have given us content for social media, we can no longer offer. We no longer can use it, right? It's gonna increase my leads. Why? Because I guarantee you when people go into these backyards that look absolutely stunning and beautiful because I've done the entire project versus just the pool, they're gonna say, who did that? It is gorgeous. If somebody goes and buys Costco furniture and puts it on the pool I just built, it's not gonna be nearly as pretty. If I use a nice furniture, it's gonna put the icing on the cake, right? And then I'm gonna have more leads and more referrals because people are gonna be more impressed with what I'm doing. It's gonna improve the quality of your leads because people are gonna understand that this is not a cheap thing. This is an expensive thing to have all this stuff. So your leads are gonna be better. You're gonna be more recession proof because you are now capable of offering more services, right? So now I don't just do pools, I can do landscaping if the economy's down and it's just a landscape project. I can do gutters, I can do sound, I can do all these different things that I now am an expert on doing. And again, quality of life. You're gonna get some of that quality of life back because you don't have to do 40 projects now a year. You can actually do 20 and make more money than you otherwise would. So these are some slides I throw in here. I won't go into a lot of detail, but there's some decent slides. I can send you all this PowerPoint. Basically, it's just some information on how to become smarter and know furniture a little bit better. Frame types of furniture. You have aluminum, plastic, teak, wicker, wrought iron. Lots of different options there. These are some advantages and disadvantages of each. Again, I can send you this presentation. I don't want to get deep into the details. You have fabric options. You want to understand fabrics if you're selling furniture. Different types of fabrics, whether it's permeable or breathable. How strong it is. We call that double rubs. How many times can it be rubbed without an abrasion? UV resistance is something we think about. Mold and mildew resistance. We use Sunbrella. This is a big one, and I want to point on this. Expensive furniture, it's not because of the fabric, it's typically not because of the frame, it's because of the fill that goes inside of these cushions. We use an open cell foam. It is the most expensive foam that you can buy. It's the second one up. The open cell foam, you can pour water on it and it's going to come right out the bottom. So not only do you use an open cell foam, but we put a mesh underneath it. By putting the mesh underneath it, if water ever does penetrate that cushion, it's going to go right through and right out the bottom. So you're not going to have the wet ass after you sit on the cushions after a heavy rainstorm. At least you might wait 10 minutes, it'll be dry. Whereas in any of the other furniture, you could wait 4 hours. And a lot of those cushions will still be soaked. Again, by selling that pain point to your clients, they're willing to spend a little bit more money on a higher quality of furniture. But you have to know it to do it. Umbrellas, there's different types of umbrellas. Obviously we show a cantilever here. There's center posts. You want to have vents in your umbrellas for high wind areas. There's different pole finishes, powder coated aluminum, wood, a lot of different options there. Again, just some basic information on furniture so you can become a little bit more of an expert. If you are selling umbrellas, we highly recommend you use fiberglass ribs on your umbrellas so that they can bend and go back to shape. Most of our umbrellas do have fiberglass ribs, except for a few of our cantilevers. Umbrella bases, you want to be aware of umbrella bases and how you're using it. When you're using certain umbrella bases underneath tables, you got to be cautious that the collar is not a tall collar, it needs to be a shorter collar. When you're using an umbrella base by itself, it can have a taller collar if it's not going underneath the table. This famous volleyball pole holder fitting that everybody's using to put umbrellas in their tanning ledges, it actually has a 2-inch internal diameter and then it goes down to 1.5 inch. So people need to be buying a 1.5 inch pole to go into it, not a 2-inch pole to go into it. Just a little trick, but when you're telling your clients these things, you're becoming an expert in furniture. Arranging your outdoor space. So how much room do I actually need to do it? Space needed around and between different items. So 30 to 48 inches of space in high traffic areas, basically the width of a sidewalk, right? We got this measurement down to 24 inches for areas that receive less foot traffic. So we don't want a walking space any more narrow than 24 inches. Distance between a wall and a dining table. In other words, how far can I pull my dining chair back? When you're talking to your client about this stuff and you say, hey guys, this is how much space we need between your table and the wall, and this is why I'm going to design your patio to be this big or this small, you all of a sudden are becoming the expert. And if you're the expert, they're going to trust you and they're going to buy the furniture from you because you're the one with the master vision. You're the one that's designed the space to accommodate the furniture. Number of different things here. I don't want to get too far into the weeds. Again, I'll share the presentation with y'all so y'all can double back and review it. Distance between a TV and a sofa. You know, how far do you want to be away from the TV when you're viewing it? 7 feet, right? By telling a client that, again, you're going to look like the expert if you know what you're talking about. So just some tidbit information there. I hope it was helpful.